What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. This is, I guess, week number 2, day number 3 of Burning Shadows testing. And as you saw earlier, we're playing Mega Rayquaza again, but we're playing a brand new deck, and that is going to be the Alolan Muk GX. And like I said, we kind of saw Mega Rayquaza brick, and so we're going to try to play another game with it. And hopefully this time it is not brick and not do so bad. Alright, so you can see immediately, that Kenton's, so we put proxies in Kenton's deck, of course, and we really don't have Alolan Muks and stuff like that, so we had to make a couple proxies, and when I put him in there, I put the cards in backwards, so that's why you saw him flipping around. So we saw that Kenton does start with a Salandite, and remember that Salandite evolves in Salazzle with the hot poison. So we see a Hoopa going to use that Scoundrelling. I remember Scoundrelling now. Monday I couldn't remember it, but now I do. We see Scoundrelling search for a Rayquaza, a Mega Rayquaza, and then a Mew. Okay. Now Salandite has too much HP, so you can't knock it out. And there you see Kenton trying to be funny and Mega Evolve my bench Rayquaza into Mega Rayquaza while ending in return. Alright, so see Mew come down. We'll see Seamus setting up for 3, 2. Okay, no, 2, sorry. So see Spirit to the active, Mega Evolve. We have so what's the scary thing about this matchup is that Kenton does play Parallel City, and he plays ways to get rid of our stadium cards. So we're going to play kind of smart knowing this, and we're just going to put a DC in the active and just pass. Really no need to commit anything right now. And we see Kenton playing a Sycamore, discarding 2 Sycamores, Field Blower, Super Scuba, and a Salazzle. So we're going to draw 7 new cards, and he needs to find some Grimers so that way he can evolve into Muk and start attacking with it. So we see Ultra Ball, discarding a Acerola and a Guzma, okay? And I imagine this will find a Muk. Now, even if he doesn't find a Grimer, sorry. Even if he doesn't find a Muk or energy this turn, he can still use Alolan Muk's Trihazzard GX to switch one of our bench Pokemon with my active and burn, paralyze, and poison it, which is very scary. But we do see a DC come down, but we'll see it pass onto our turn. And Kenton, oh, nope, there's Super Scoop Up. Okay, so let's see what he finds, and it's going to be Tails. Another Super Scoop Up. Another Tails, and you might be asking, why is he doing that? Well, he wants to use Grimer's Division to search for another Grimer, put onto his bench. We see a DCT active, we see a Mallow, gonna put 2 cards on top of his head. You see Kenton hit his head against the table, saying, oh man, my Salandite is getting knocked out this turn. But, well, Mallow put 2 cards on top of her deck, and I guess a card that we maybe should have thought ahead was putting a Guzma on top of the deck. So that way, if he does try to go for that Trihazzard GX attack, we'll be able to switch out. So we see a Kukui to draw 2, 1, and 2, and he finds the Muk, so he'll be able to use that Trihazzard GX to bring somebody to the active spot and get it stuck there. So I can look at this. This is my first time actually even seeing this, but even if we have the Guzma, it still wouldn't 100% work because he got a Salandite, and he will be able to use that Trihazzard, bring up the Hoopa, get it burned, paralyzed, poison in the act spot, and in between turns, it will take 30, and you flip a coin if tells the Hoopa is still burned. So we see Kenton trying to find his status conditions, and there they are, burned, poison, and it'll take 30 for everything. It tells I am still burned, so we'll take an additional 30 damage going back into Kenton's turn. Now we are burned, or we are paralyzed, so we're just going to pass our turn straight away, flip a coin, and we're still burned. Alright, so on the Kenton's turn, he finds a Dark Energy, and he'll be able to use that Chemical Breath. It'll do 150 damage, because Chemical Breath does 10, and then 70 more damage for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon. 180 thanks to the Choice Band. And we see Kenton have 0 cards in his hand. He could just pass. But then it might mess up the numbers if we get rid of the burn and stuff like that. But nope, just going to take the knockout, which is smart because we did have a Flowstone in our hand. So we'll send it the Mega Ray, and we got to find a 7-bench Pokemon. But as you see, we have a Skyfield, we have a Rayquaza, we have a Shaman, we have a Hoopa. I mean, we have a Lele. So we'll have enough to take a knockout here. So Lele, going to grab a Hex Maniac, which is great because it makes it where Salazzle cannot use as a conditions next turn. And there's no way it can burn and poison us with its hot poison ability. So we see Skyfall come down. We see a Flowstone to the top of Lele. We'll see Rayquaza come down and a Shaman come online as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's a full bench of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, actually, it's 7. So we need to find one more Pokemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, there's a Hex Maniac, and we'll swing, but not enough for a knockout. Dude, 210 damage. He has 220 HP. So there's a Field Blower getting rid of the Skyfield and the Flowstone. Remember, he does play 2 Field Blower and 2 Perilous Cities. So this is actually a big thing in this matchup. We see a Bridget grabbing a Salandite and 2 Grimers. He could maybe go for a Crunch for 120 and discard an Energy. And he'll discard a DCE, but he has to find a Dark Energy, or he can commit Energy to the bench, and that way he can start maybe have another Chemical Break next turn. But we'll just see a Chemical Breath for 40 thanks to the Choice Band. So we see a VS Seeker for Hex, taking a knockout, going down to 3 price cards. We're just trying to make sure he cannot abuse that Salazzle stuff. So we see a Dark Energy to the bench. We'll see a good old, what is it called, Division to find for another Grimer, but looks like he doesn't have another one in the deck. We do have another Lysander. We do have a Lysander hand to bring up that Grimer. Take a knockout, going down to 2 price cards, and once again, there's a card that it was flipped the wrong way. So, going to send the Salandite. On a Ken's turn, we see a Lele. He did have a Lele in his hand for a couple turns, but we kept hexing him. So, not only were we, like, making where Salazzle doesn't do anything, he couldn't use his Wonder Tag because we're hexing him, so that's really nice as well. And he has to go for a Sycamore here, because if he goes for in, he only gets 4 cards, so it really doesn't. It does hurt us, but not too bad. So we see a Lysander bring up the Grimer again, take it a knockout, going down to 1. We just need to make sure he does not find a Muck. We just need to take these Grimers out over and over again. We see an Ultra Ball for a Salazzle. It's going to burn and poison us, okay. So right now it's taking 30 in between turns. And if he finds a DCE here, he'll do 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Super Scoop Up Heads, going to put the Salazzle back in his hand, okay. We see it in. Does he find a Silver Bangle and a Choice Band? Or not a Silver Bangle, sorry. A Choice Band and a DCE. That would do 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 150. Let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 150 plus another 30. 190. And then actually take a knockout. So there's a DCE. Does he have a Choice Band? And nope. Does not look like he has a Choice Band, so he's going to be just a little bit off of knocking us out. So we're doing the math right now. Ken's going to make sure it's squared away. There it is. So 6, 12, 18, 19. If he had hit a Choice Band, he would have taken a knockout. So they receive. Okay, come on, Josh. Get this coin flip for bright. Come on, Josh. Get this coin flip right. Let's take number 5. There it is. So got rid of the burn, and on to our turn. What do we find here? We got a Floatstone. We got an Unknown, and we're just going to swing for 150 damage. Now on a Ken's turn, I'm going to find another Tapu Lele, use that Winter Tag. I imagine we'll see a Sycamore here. And just trying to dig for more stuff. Nope, just going to play in instead. And I think the reason why is because he doesn't have any more, he doesn't have any more Sycamores. I think he discarded them all turn 1, or at least discarded 3 turn 1. I remember he discarded Sycamore 2 more, so he has 3 Sycamores in the discard pile, so he can't Lele for Sycamore, unfortunately. But that Rayquaza up to 6, 12, 18, 19, 20. He has 20 HP left, so he has to find another Salazzle here, and that's in a Salazzle. So with this, he'll be able to take a knockout, thanks to the bird and everything like that. And he's going to go down to 2 price cards. So we see Choice Band going to the active, just going to just pass, and the poison plus the burn will knock us out. We'll send it the Shaman. Onto our turn. What do we get here? We get a DCE. And we can Sky Return for 30. And I guess Rayquaza is not too bad of a play. It's not really getting threatened of a knocked out. It'd be almost impossible. So we see Kenton. He's going to put down the Perilous City, lock us down to 3, put a Dark Energy active, and he's going to Energize for 70. Okay. On our turn, we got a Psychic Energy. And you see we have a pretty good hand. We got a Skyfield. We got a DCE. And can we knock out the Tapu Lele this turn? Alright, so we'll be able to Shaman. And we have to go for it right now. We could just, like, whatever, not do anything really. But we got a Mallow, we got a Guzma, we got a Dragonite. I actually drew 7. And, I mean, you'll see me set up 7 a couple times this game. Because I was thinking of Uxie a lot. Uxie from Legends Awaken does the same thing that Shaman does. But it lets you draw 7 instead of 6. So that's why I kind of mess up here sometimes. I was kind of out of it. But we see the Unknown coming down. And we have an interesting option. We have Mallow in our hand. But how can Mallow help us win the game? And there we see a VS Seeker, okay. Looks like we're just going to grab a Lysander, and you're going to see me try to Lysander the Lele, but Attentive Fire Burn only affects EXs, and Tapu Lele is a GX, so I'm like, okay, that doesn't work. So once again, just like the other videos, we're playing like the most optimal way. Alright, so that's not going to work either. So, alright, so we're going to take number 3. How do we win? How do we win right now? So Mallow, we're going to put 2 cards on top of our deck. Okay. Let's see what we decide to put here. We got 2 to put on top of the deck. Let's see what kind of cool play we come up here. Can we win this turn? If not, Kenta can just Inner Drive 20, 40, 60, 80, 19, 11. That will knock us out, but we'll probably just end up retreating if we don't find a way to win this turn. So going to Mallow, put 2 cards on top of our deck, and you're going to see me second just trying to figure out how do we get a win off this turn. We got a Mega Turbo in hand, we got a Psychic Energy, we got something else. Just, just really not what we need right now. We need like a Link. We already have the Mega Turbo, and we need a Mega Rayquaza. So can we get these combination of cards or not? So we're going to see those 2 cards go on top of our deck. We're going to see a Feral Letter. Boom, hit a Dragonite. Use a pull-up to find an Unknown. And a Shaman. Okay, alright. So we're going places. Okay, we're getting set up here. We'll put down an Unknown. Okay. Well, Feral Letter. Boom, Spirit Link. Okay. Now we need to find the Mega Ray. So how do we do this? Well, Shaman, setting up for 2. And we hit an Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball, discard an Ultra Ball, and a Guzma. Gonna find a Mega Ray, and we were able to take the game. And there we see Mallow actually being a superstar there. And we got fairly lucky hitting one of those 2 Ultra Balls. See a Mega Turbo to the active, and we will take the game. And oh man. So you see a Kenta did prize a Grimer and a Muck. And yeah, there we go. That's game number 1. That was very, very crazy game. That was a very good way to end the game. Just getting kind of lucky. We had 2 Ultra Balls in the deck. I think we had 1 Mega Ray, maybe 2. And we were able to find one with that Shaman. But this is best 2 out of 3, so we will see what happens. Can Muck set up and be good to go? Right now, we're going to flip all these cards the right way. Because right now, when they're just sitting on the price cards or sitting whatever, you can kind of tell that's where the proxies are. I kind of put those in backwards, unfortunately. But on to game number 2, what needs to happen? Well, Kenton needs to find a turn 1 Bridget. That's always a fun thing right there. If he finds a turn 1 Bridget, he can get down multiple Mugs and Salazzles, and he needs to do this. Or Salandite, Salazzle. Which one's the first one? It is Salandite. Sorry, I don't know all these new Pokemon's names still. But Salandite is the one he needs to find to get down multiple Salazzles and or multiple Salandites, so he can use Salazzle for that hot poison. There we go. All right, so on to game number 2. So that was the game we wanted to see Mega Ray. Now, we didn't see Monday. Okay, Ken knows we have Skyfield. What a secret ruin now. He knows we play Skyfields. But here we go, guys. On to game number 2. We'll see what Kenton finds here. Going to get 7 new cards. He does have that Parallel City in his hand, and that is a big game changer with this with the Mega Rayquaza deck. So we start with Latios, but once again, unfortunately, the Grimers and the Salandites have too much HP, so you can't even fast rate for a knockout, unfortunately. But we've seen Ultra Ball discarding a Guzma and a Muck GX. Now this could find a Lele, but nope, we're gonna see him. I don't know. I think he grabbed a Grimer or something. Yeah, he grabbed a Grimer, then Rescue Stretch and a Muck back into his deck, and we're definitely going to see a Sycamore discarding his hand, drawing 7 new cards. He puts down the Parallel City, but he didn't have another supporter card. But he knows we do have a Skyfield in hand. There's a Choice Band going to the active, and there's me switching out the Grimer, just putting the real one in the active spot. You can almost tell that it's fake on the bench one is. There's a choo-choo train going across, going around too. But let's see. On to my turn, we find a Skyfield, getting rid of that Parallel City. We get Ultra Ball, discarding 2 Psychic Energies. Almost said Fairy. And I imagine this is going to find us a Hoopa. Going to use a Scoundrel, search for 3 EX Pokemon. Probably like double Mega Ray and a double Mega Ray. No, a double Rayquaza and probably a Shaman. So there's Rayquaza number 1. And the unfortunate thing you see you point out is that the Grimer once again having too much HP, just not be able to take a knockout. I mean, we did have the Psychic Energy and a Ultra Ball to grab a Tapu Lele for Kakui to take a knockout if it was a 60 HP Pokemon, but unfortunately we did not have it that turn. So there's a Dragonite coming down. I'm just trying to hit my hand. There's a Shaman come down as well. And we find another Shaman, a Floatstone. We can Floatstone the active Latios. And we get Shaman for 2 more. Okay, so 1 and 2. There's an Ultra Ball and a Mallow. And I think I have a Hex. Okay, so we're going to Ultra Ball, just going to Lysander the Hex. And I imagine he's going to grab another Shaman to keep on setting up, because we need to find an energy for a turn. And we already have the Mega Rayquaza in our hand, so we can just Mega Evolve next turn and be good to go. But we need to find an energy attachment for a turn, so that way we can start attacking. Now, even if we don't find an energy this turn, we're still going to be okay. But there's a DC and a Mallow. There's 6 cards in my hand now. So, see a Mallow. Going to put 2 cards on top of our deck. Ken's going to look through our discard pile and be like, yep, he hasn't played a supporter card yet. And I imagine the 2 cards we're going to see put on top of deck as maybe like a supporter card for next turn, because I don't think we have one in our hand. And there's me looking like, do I have to put 2? Like, yeah, you still have to put 2. Like, the only card we need next turn is a supporter card, because we do not have one. So, we'll see the supporter card going on top. We see a DC to the Rayquaza, and we'll Mega Evolve onto Kenton's turn. Alright, so can Kenton take a knockout? Yes, he can. He can Ultra Ball, discarding those 2. Find a Salazzle, put that down. There's a Tapu Lele, gonna use the Wonder Tag, and there's an N. Alright, Tapu Lele for an N. Muck coming down. Ooh, the basic Muck come down as well. Or not the basic Muck, the regular Muck from Guardians Rising. I think it's Guardian Rises. I can't remember what set it's from. But it says that no basic Pokemon have abilities, which is actually the big game changer in this deck as well. There's so many things in Kenton's deck that can counter Mega Rayquaza, which is why we decided to play this deck. But with that Muck, I can't use Shamans, I can't use Unknowns, I can't use Dragonite, I can't use Hoop, I can't use Tapu Lele. There's so many things I cannot use anymore thanks to that Muck being on the field. Alright, so Kenton will probably use Muck's GX GX tech just to switch out the active with the bench, like the Hoopa, go for that Tri-Hazard, make it burn, paralyze, and poison, and we'll have to find a Guzma to actually take a knockout this turn. But I mean, if I find a Guzma plus, oh, he's actually going to bring up the Rayquaza and start putting the threat on that guy. Oh boy, so there we go, burn and poison, gonna put a 30 on there, and here we go, here's a coin flip, and it's heads, so the bird is removed, okay? So on our turn, we find a DCE, but it's not gonna help us too much, and just Mega Evolve to end our turn. So on a Ken's turn, does he find a DC? There's another Muck coming down. And if he finds a Muck here, he'll be able to take a knockout with a Chemical Breath. He'll do 150. Actually, do 160, 200. No, it's actually not a knockout. Nope, just going to pass from Kenton, so Kenton not have anything. So we see a Psychic Energy once the active. We'll see a knockout going down to 4. Another poison damage being added up. I'm going to let Kenton do the poison damage math because I'm not paying attention too much. So on Kenton's turn, he's got a Salazzle. He can burn us. Okay. He's got a Super Scoop Up. Now remember, since that Muck is out, Kenton cannot use his own Tapu Lele Wonder Tags either. No base Pokemon have abilities. So heads, pick up the Salazzle. Gonna send in the Muck and N. Alright, with this N, if he finds a DCE, he'll be able to do 150 damage. Plus the 30 from the burn and the poison. So 180. Plus the 6 is enough for a knockout. 240. So, does Kenton find a DCE here or not? That is going to be the billion-dollar question. There's a DCE, and we'll finally see Muck GX taking a knockout on this Mega Ray, and he'll go down to 4 prize cards. Now, on to us. If we find a Psychic Energy and a Pokemon, well, we take a knockout on his own Muck. So, he's going to take a knockout here, going down to 4 prize cards. We have a DC in hand, so we can at least swing with Mega Ray this turn. But do we find a Pokemon or not? That's going to be the question. So, there's a knockout. He'll go down to 4 prize cards. We'll send up the Latios. It does have a... Okay, nope. Just going to send the Rayquaza. And there's a Tapu Lele. So, we'll have a knockout here at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. We got a Kikui in hand, so we can Kikui for 2. Just to save the Tapu Lele. So, Psychic Energy deactive as well. So, that's a really good Kikui. Because we don't have to commit a DCE. And we'll take a knockout. So, Kenton will send it to Salandite. Alright. Let's see. He can Ultra Ball, discard 2 cards from his hand. Maybe grab a Salazzle. What he really needs to find here, Salazzle, what he really needs here is a Parallel City. If he could Parallel City, put us down to 3, we're going to be in big trouble. So there's a DC going to the Tapu Lele. And the reason why we're going to be in big trouble if he finds a Parallel City is because we can't use Dragonite, we can't use Shaman, we can't use Tapu Lele. We really can't get set up anymore. And then we had the Lysander for the win next turn if he didn't in us. So here we go, shuffling up. We're going to find 2. Kenton's going to find 4. Kenton is definitely in a troubled situation here. Because if we find a Lysander, we can knock out the Tapu Lele. But it all comes down to what does Kenton find with these 4 cards. Does he find a Field Blower, Parallel City, And there's a Parallel CD gonna put us down to three Pokemon on the bench. So we'll discard all the Shaymins, because those are easy life standard targets. We'll discard the Dragonite, it's got a hefty retreat cost, and just leave those three guys. So see a Choice Band going to the Tapu Lele. And we'll see it pass onto our turn. So we'll take 30 damage. Gotta flip a coin for that bird. And oh, it looks like it is Tails. Alright, so on my turn, we find a Lysander, bring up that Muck. Okay. And we'll swing into it. Doing 90. Coin flip Tails. Alright. Now, locking up the Muck here, bringing up the Muck here is pretty good. Because Kitten, the only way he can retreat is by Acerola. Or, he's got a Guzma in hand. So he can Guzma, bring some money up. So via Seeker for Guzma. Or no, he do go for Sycamore here. Alright. With Guzma, he has to switch out one of our active, and he wants to swing it to Rayquaza. So does he find a Super Scoop Up? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 140, plus a 30, 170, plus a 60, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that'll be enough for a knockout. So Super Scoop Up Tails. Okay. So it looks like this Rayquaza will live. He does have a Kikuyu in hand, but can't really use that right now. And we're just see a pass for another 30 damage. Alright, so on our turn, we find a Lele. Really not helpful either. We have no bench Pokemon, so we'll take a knockout. Going out of 1 price card, we'll see Kitten sit at the top of Lele. We take additional damage. We actually haven't been flipping. So here's the first flip, heads, and Kitten, he'll do the math correctly. Clinton knows how this stuff works. But it doesn't matter, and Energy Drive will knock us out no matter what here. So Kitten's going to put a Dark Energy on that Grimer. Tapu Lele right now is becoming clutch. So Dark Energy to Grimer. We'll see a Lele. He can now use his own abilities since we knocked out his Muck. So we see a Wonder Tag, maybe finding it in here, putting us down to 1. No, gonna grab a Lysander for next turn. I guess saying, hey, I got game next turn maybe, but we can just discard the Unknown. So really not too scared about that. He just must not have another in his deck, or he definitely would have grabbed that, try to put us down to 1 card. All right, so. Can we win the game next turn? Oh boy. If we do, this would be the most insane thing I've ever seen. So I see Latios coming up. We got a Floatstone to the active. Okay, so Floatstone. We got a Spirit Link. I mean, if we find a Hoopa, we're still in trouble because we need to get rid of that Parallel City. It is limiting us down to 3. Okay, so we see a Dragonite, but we can't use a Dragonite. So we see Tapu Lele. And with the Tapu Lele, we might see a Wonder Tag to find a Skyla, if it's in our deck still. I can't remember if we use Skyla or not. Looks like we are going to grab a Mallow. And with the Mallow, and we're still looking good if we got Mallow here. Because with the Mallow, we could put 2 cards on top of our deck, which will be like a Skyfield. Let's look, I'm not going to grab the Mallow. I think this turn takes a second because I'm deciding how, like, once again, we're in a situation of how do we win this turn. We saw it last game, like, how do we figure out how do we get this? What do we do here? We got that Dragonite staring at us, we got a Spirit Link, and we got something else. So, one thing we do is you Lele for Mallow, you put 2 cards top of your deck, which I think is going to be Skyfield, and a Shaman. Those would be, yeah, that would be 2 good cards, because what you could do is you can Feral Letter for a Skyfield, put that back down, then you Dragonite for a Mega Rayquaza and an Unknown, then you play the Unknown, draw on a Shaman, and then you Shaman after you Mega Rayquaza Link and Mega Rayquaza. It takes me a second to realize this, and I think that's what we're going to do here. We're going to put that on top of the deck, and we should put a Shaman on top of the deck or Unknown on top of the deck as well. If I remember this correctly. Or Shaman. Either one's fine. It looks like I'm going to put a Rayquaza on top of the deck. I think either way it works that I want to do. Okay, yeah, I'm going to Mallow. I think either way it's fine. Because we have a Shaman in the discard pile that we could pull up with to draw into. But I think the better way would have been what I've just said. And put a Shaman on top. Yeah. But it's fine. Either way, we're still doing the same thing. So we'll put those 2 on top of our deck. So a Feral Letter. Going to draw on the Skyfield. We'll Dragonite, use the pull-up to grab an Unknown and a Shaman. But like I said, okay, Rayquaza and a Shaman. So like I said, this is a little bit of a different thing we could have done. And then this is me realizing right now, like, oh man, I could have played this a little bit differently. Still learning the Mallow ways. So we'll see there, Rayquaza. Oh. Okay, no, there we go. We grab an Unknown. Sorry, we don't need to grab a Rayquaza. So we'll set up here. Okay. I think we did it backwards too. I think we should have farewell letter first. So Rayquaza coming down. We'll see a float Spirit Link. We'll see a treat into the unknown. Oh, that's why I did unknown, because I wanted to pass with the unknown in the axe spot, so that way he can't win next turn. But there's a DC Lysander, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. And so he'll be able to energy drive just to knock out a Shaman. So he had the game. There we go. Energy drive is so strong right now. So strong. So even though we did all that, we still barely missed it. Just not finding the Mega Ray. I don't think we have any Mega Rays left in our deck. I think that's what I just showed right there, was there's no Mega Rays. Unfortunately, no, wait, I don't know. I don't remember anymore. But on to game number 3. We're done with game number 2. We're going to game number 3, and we're going to see what happens. Now, that Parallel City, like I said, was very clutch for Kenton. Being able to put us down to 3 while having the Muck down is a really big deal. It's a huge deal. And yeah, so we're going to shelf up here, play one more game, and it's best 2 out of 3. So we'll see who takes game number 3, and it takes the Alolan Muck versus Mega Rayquaza matchup. I mean, when me and Kenton built this deck, we're like, oh, it seems pretty good. And that's what we're gonna figure out. Is it actually good? Can it take down a big contender or not, like Mega Ray? And right now, it did prove itself in game number 2. It was more like Tapu Lele versus Mega Rayquaza, but still, it put in a lot of work. Alright, so here we go. Both players are set up. Going to find 6 prize cards, and here we go, guys. Start with Dragonite, which is very unfortunate, but our hand is really good if I remember the situation correctly. So we're going to Ultra Ball, discarding a Skyla and... what card is that? A Skyla and a Kukui. Alrighty, so let's see, what do we find here? I see a Tapu Lele, I see an Unknown, I see a Shaman, and a Skyfield if I remember correctly. So, going to use that Wonder Tag, search for 3 EX Pokemon. I'm going to find a Rayquaza, a Mega Ray, and then maybe another Rayquaza. It's never too bad not to find all this. But one thing we always have to remember is that Kenton plays Parallel City. And once he gets to Parallel City, he'll disrupt our hand just a little bit and we'll be in trouble. So see Lele not going to the discard pile, going to the bench. And I imagine this will see a Mallow to put 2 cards on top of her deck. And there's a Mallow. Probably put a Spirit Link and maybe a DC on top of our deck. Those are really 2 good cards to draw into. And there you see the DC and the Spirit Link being put on top of our deck. And we're going to get set up here. We're going to have a really good turn 1 if you like the Mega Ray stuff. So, I'm going to get a little shuffle, put those 2 cards on top of our deck. Going to put the DC on top. We will Farewell Letter. We got a Spirit Link, Shaman. I think it doesn't matter either way. We put one of those 2 cards on top. But we find a DC for that Rayquaza. And I'll probably just pass here. We did have a Skyfield in hand, and there's a Parallel City in Kenton's hand just staring at us like, oh man. He's got a Parallel City turn 1, gonna put us down to 3. But does he want to play it right now while we don't have a Skyfield on play? Oh boy. Looks like he is. Oh man, looks like he's the Ultra Ball, discard a Choice Band and a Parallel City because other cards in his hands are really good. So we'll see Ultra Ball discarding those 2. I imagine this will find maybe a Lele for Bridget. Maybe he can just grab for... okay, yep, there's a Lele. Okay, oh, never mind. Nope, not lying. Never mind. He's going to look with everything in his hand. So, yeah, Lele for Bridget. Going to search for 3 Pokemon. Going to grab 2 Grimers and a Salandite, I imagine. So, it's Grimer, Salandite, and he's good to go. He's got the perfect turn 1. I think he has a DC in hand as well, which is what he wants to see. I'm going to put those 5 guys down. He can't use a Grimer's attack anymore, but that's fine. It's whatever. I would rather not have used the attack and just just getting it that way. Either way, it's fun. It's fine. So, he does have a DC going to the bench. Grimer. And we'll see a pass on to our turn. Alright, so we're going to draw a card. We have a Psychic Energy. Oh, and a Floatstone. Oh, boy. And a Lysander. Oh, it's not looking good for Kenton. Alright, so Emma Break for the knockout going down to 5. But remember, the thing about Muck is that he can use his GX Tri-Hazard for no energies. He can just bring up anybody and get stuck in the axe spot. And he gets the other Muck down as well. Make where none of our basic Pokemon abilities work anymore. Oh my goodness. So he already has that out. But remember, he is down to 1 Parallel City. He discarded that earlier. And we're going to see what Kenton does here. We still have no Skyfield in play. So you can't use that Field Blower. And we'll probably see a Tri-Hazard. Another Salandite come down. He's loving these Salazzles. He wants to use that Hot Poison ability really bad. Choice Band the active, not a Silver Wrangle. Don't worry, guys. I got this now. We're good to go. And we're going to see a Tri-Hazard GX bring up the Hoopa most likely and try to get stuck in the active spot, which is very good. But we see Kenton not having the energy, which is the downside of this, because he won't be able to attack with the Chemical Breath. And since he's using his GX stack, he won't be able to attack really at all unless he finds a DC for that Tapu Lele. So here we go, trying to flip this coin. This coin is getting on our nerves right now. And there we see Tails. Oh, it's still Tails. Alright, well, we're going to see a pass on the Kent's turn. A fairly simple turn. Just going to pass. Oh my goodness, this coin flips. These coin flips are just being really mean to us. And here's a die flip, whatever. Just whatever. Alright, so he... Okay, no, we're good. He took the damage. Okay, so on the Kent's turn, let's see what happens. He's got a Alolan Muck GX in the active spot. He's got a Salazzle come down. Going to get that burn online. Going to Field Blower, getting rid of that Flowstone, which means he has a Sycamore in hand, because there's no way he would play that unless he had a Sycamore. So Sycamore discard his hand, trying to find 7 new cards, and he's trying to find another energy. Okay, and energy. And there we go. Dark Energy deactive. There we go. And we'll see a Super Scoop Up trying to pick up that Salazzle, I imagine. Nope. Okay, Tails. Alright, so no Salazzle being picked up. And we'll see a pass on to our turn, because Chemical Breath does need a Dark Energy and a DC to attack. But another 30 damage come down. And here's Coin Flip. Tails that Hoopa is still burned. Oh boy. There's Skyfill come down. Okay. We got Mew, Unknown, Shaman, and Spirit Link. Sycamore, discard our hand, draw 7 new cards, and we find a DC. So DC, retreat, sit in the Mega Ray, and we'll take a knockout going down to 3 prize cards. Alrighty, so on the Kent's turn, looks like he has to go his best friend Tapu Lele, and see can Lele win him the game again. There's a DC top deck. Alrighty, he's got a Field Blower, getting rid of the Skyfield, and the Choice Span. Going to make me discard a couple Pokemon. Looks like we're going to discard a Mew and a Shaman that we just put down. I think we're going to discard both Shamans because Mew does have a little bit more HP, which might matter in the long run. And I guess realistically we should just discard the Hoopa and the Dragonite. I discarded the Dragonite because it's a 3 tree cost and he got rid of the Floatstone. And definitely probably should have got rid of the Hoopa because it does have that 90 damage on it. That's definitely a mistake on my part. Definitely should have kept like a Shaman on the bench or something. But we see it in both players are going to find some new cards. Can Kenton find Salazzle here to get the Hot Poison ability off? And Super Scoop Up. Let's see, does he flip heads or tails? It's tails. Alright, so no Salazzle this turn, looks like. Oh, there's Salazzle. Okay, never mind. Well, he still's got it. And he's going to Enter Drive for 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 130 damage with the poison and the burn. Alright, so here's Coin Flip. It's going to be tails, so we stay burn. We got a VS Seeker for Lysander. Bring up that Muck, taking a knockout. Going down to 2 prize cards. But we will take an additional 30 damage. 6, 12, 30, 40, 50, 16. Heads, got rid of the burn. But he can Enter Drive for the knockout this turn. So Dark Energy deactive. We'll see a Super Scoop Up maybe. You see him kind of debate what to do with this. Does he Super Scoop Up or not? And yes, he will Super Scoop Up. Heads, pick up Salazzle, put it back in his hand. And we are just going to see an Enter Drive for the knockout. So Tapu Lele is putting in work multiple of these games. So just going to Sycamore, just discard his hand, draw 7 new cards. Okay. And no Grimer. There's a Choice Bang on the active. Okay. And we'll see, Kenton going to Parallel Cities down to 3 as well. So there we go. We discard the Hoopa and the Mew. Alrighty, can we win the game this turn? Once again, we're in that same situation of, hey, we have a Rayquaza left. Can we win right now or not? So, on my turn, we get an Ultra Ball, discarding an N and a Latios. Okay. We do have a VS Seeker in hand. So we could go for Mallow and then Shaman here and bump a Parallel City that way. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. Looks like we're just going to have a Mega Ray maybe and just Mega Evolve to end our turn. And that's not a bad thing either. We have 2 cards in our hand. Looks like a DC and a VS Seeker. So what we could do is we can VS Seeker for Mallow to put 2 cards on top of our deck and be set up next turn. That's not a bad thing either. So going to put a VS Seeker for Mallow, and that's what we're going to do here. Even though we're not going to have any cards in our hand, we're going to Mallow and put probably a Shaman and a Skyfield on top of our decks. Or maybe a Dragonite. Either way is fine. It doesn't matter. No, you had to go Shaman this route. No, you can go Dragonite because he'll take a knockout this turn, maybe. But if he does take a knockout, then we're in trouble. So you definitely have to put Shaman on top of your deck. There's always like, you can put Dragonite, but then if you put Dragonite, you don't have another bench spot unless he takes a knockout. But will he take a knockout on the unknown? I highly doubt it. Does not seem that good a play to knock it out. So we'll put the 2 cards top of our deck with DC and Mega Evolve on the Kenton's turn. So we have no cards in hand. We just mallowed. Kenton knows that we have 2 good cards on top of his deck, so does he end here or not? It looks like he is. Gonna eyeball that in. We see an Ultra Ball. Gonna discard 2 cards from his hand. And right now, that Tapu Lele, he is ready to go. He is energy driving for a ton of damage. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 170. It's doing 200 right now. If you can get down to Salazzle as well. So very, very scary Tapu Lele going on. So you see an Ultra Ball. Gonna grab a Grimer, okay? And there we see an N. And there we see Shaman and Skyfield. Like, oh, well, that was 2 good cards that we're not going to see anymore. But we'll see what happens. We will get 2 new cards. Then we get the draw cards. So that'd be 3. And these could be better than the Mallow. The Mallow just definitely guaranteed us the, not the win, but like a really good shot of winning. So 2 cards come in our hand. And we'll probably see a pass from Kenton. There's no way he taxes Unknown. You definitely just leave the Unknown in the active spot. It forces us to retreat it. And yeah, we're going to see a pass on to our turn. Well, we find an Ultra Ball, discarding Ultra Ball and Hoopa to find a Shaman. And it is time to go somewhere. So we're going to set up here, finding 6 new cards. And can we find a Skyfield, Floatstone, Mega Turbo, and some more Pokemon? Now, even if we don't find the exact knockout, but we can swing a Rayquaza, we're still looking okay. Because, you know, Tapu Lele, he can take a knockout this turn, but he has 4 prize cards off. We only have 2. So we got the Floatstone, the active. We got a Psychic Energy on the bench. And looks like we have a VS Seeker. And I imagine we just go for it. Just play Sycamore, just discard our hand, drawing 7 new cards. Go look through our discard pile, see what's the odds, what's all in there. And I think right now what we do is just VS Seeker for Skyla, or for Sycamore, just discard our hand, drawing 7 new cards. Just showing I have the Sycamore in the discard pile, and what can we find with these 7 new cards? There's a Skyfield and a Dragonite, and we will take this game. Alrighty, so we'll put down the Skyfield, we'll put down the Unknown, we'll put down the Dragonite, we'll pull up, get a bunch of Pokemon, and Mega Ray will take this game. So with the Mug deck, one thing, I don't know if it's exactly good or not. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, he had a DC Lele for Lysander. Oh man, he would have done a ton of damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I mean, if we found our own DCE, we could have knocked out his Lele next turn. Kenton had 4 prize cards left, so Kenton was just in a bad situation. So I'm not sure if Mug is actually a good deck or not. We definitely need to find a way to keep his energies on his field. And that's the same problem we have with Tapu Koko. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. We have 1 more day left of Burning Shadows testing. And then we'll be done and we'll hop back into PTCO games. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I don't know why it's so blurry. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.